Hey, what's up, beat hackers? We got DJ Minnie in the hizzle. And in this week's video, we are going to tell you 3 things that we both wish we knew when we first started DJing live. Let's get straight into it. Okay guys, so I know there's a lot of people watching this channel who are brand new to DJing and maybe haven't even done their first gig yet, okay? And I wanted to give you some advice that I wish I knew before I went out and started DJing for the first time in front of a crowd. And I mean, I sure as hell know she agrees with these points as well, okay? So this is coming from both of us. Okay guys, so tip number 1 is that the crowd's opinion is the only one that matters. Okay, and you guys are going to learn this really quickly when you get out there and you start DJing live in front of a crowd, is that you're going to be like, I'm going to play this kind of music and this kind of music, and I'm going to go from this song to this song, and you're going to have it all set in your head. But really guys, if you're being paid to be a DJ, the only thing that matters is how much fun the people that side of the DJ decks are having. And the secret is to literally just watch the crowd. This is the biggest skill of being a DJ that none of us YouTube DJ guys tell you about. We're teaching you all these different skills and all these cool transitions and stuff, but the absolute number 1 biggest thing, hands down, that will make you a better DJ than other people is if you have the ability to watch a crowd, find out what music that crowd of people like, and play more of that music. The crowd are the only people that matter when you're being paid to DJ. Now, I know we all see these massive DJs like Martin Garrix and stuff jumping on the stage to their own music and playing these awesome house tracks. You got to think about it though, guys. People have gone to see them because they are these massive DJs. And also, if you're going to go and see Martin Garrix, you know he's going to play a lot of house tracks. When you first start DJing, you're going to be starting off with things like corporate events, working in pubs, stuff like this, smaller nightclubs, weddings, stuff like that. And actually guys, people at those kind of events don't like listening to house music or hip hop all night. They're going to want to listen to a bit of Cheese, they're going to want to listen to a bit of Motown, they're going to want to listen to, you know, a bit of pop music. And guys, all these DJ skills that you've learned, and you're like, I'm going to go and do all these transitions. Suddenly, all it really comes down to is, okay, well, they really like Taylor Swift, so I'm going to try a bit of Beyonce next. Or, okay, cool, they really like Rod Stewart, so I'm going to put on an Elton John song next. So guys, and I don't want you to be disheartened by that, because I can tell you now, guys, I would rather DJ at a party where everyone's going crazy and I'm playing Elton John than going to a nightclub where I'm playing house music, and even though it's my favourite music, no one's dancing. It's better to be in a place where the crowd are absolutely loving it. Those are the only people that count. So that's tip number 1. That's something I didn't realise before I started going and DJing live. Second tip that I wish I knew before I went out and started DJing live in front of a crowd is that all the technical stuff is nowhere near as important as you first think. So this kind of ties in a little bit to rule number 1, which is the rule to rule them all, by the way. But tip number 2 is, don't worry about making sure your sets are technically perfect. I went out on my first couple of gigs thinking, oh my gosh, everyone's going to be watching me. This is my moment. If I mess up this beat match or if this transition isn't good, everyone's going to be complaining. And you quickly realize that no one's watching you. No one is watching the transitions you do. And if you've got to go from one type of music to a completely different type of music, it's much better to do a really simple fade out and press play than try and do something really technical and mess it up. So let me explain that. There have been times where I'm like, okay, I've got to go from like a pop song and I'm going to go into like a hip hop song here, and I'm trying to do looping and I'm trying to do some really clever stuff to an audience who aren't watching me, and I messed it up. And then I messed it up and people look at me and go, what's the DJ doing? Whereas if I just filtered out and pressed play, no one would have thought anything of it. Me actually trying to be technically perfect actually drew more attention to myself in a negative way than me just actually going from one song to the next. So this is the next thing I wish I knew. If you were here with me now and you're like, Phil, I'm going to do my first DJ gig tonight, I've never DJed before, and what's your top tip? I would teach you filter out, volume down, play. filter out, volume down, play. And the next thing I do is spend the rest of the time teaching you how to work out what kind of songs people like. And if they're dancing to this, you play more of this music. And if they're dancing to this, you play more of this music. I wouldn't bother spending 3 hours teaching you technical transitions that I do a lot on this channel. And that's the truth. So the second tip I would give you guys, if you're going out there and DJing live, don't stress about having a technically perfect, you know every transition under the sun, okay? Those things are not going to get noticed. And if you try and do something technical and you mess it up, that is the thing that's going to draw attention to you. And that's the thing, you'll go home at the end of the night and you're going to go, oh my gosh, I messed up that awful transition, when you could have just done a simple transition and no one would have noticed and the party would have continued. That's tip number 2. Finally guys, tip number 3 that I wish somebody had told me is don't get disheartened if you're playing all this good music and no one's dancing. There have been times where I've gone out and I've been like playing bangers, like all DJs kind of have in their heads like the songs that they just know everyone's going to dance to, and they're kind of storing them up for later in the evening. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? And there's been times where I've gone out and nothing is working. So I'm like, right, I'm putting on the bangers. I'm just going to put on the bangers I was saving till like 11 o'clock. They're just coming straight out at 8 o'clock, like, 8, 9 o'clock. Let's see if we can get a bit of movement here. And still nothing. And I've had nights, and you will experience this as well, where you go out, you're playing all the right music, you're trying everything, and you're just not going to get people going. And you go home and you feel so deflated. You feel like, well, forget it then. I'm not a very good DJ. Obviously can't. If I can't even make those people dance, then I'm no good. Guys, the truth is, there's some nights you're going to go out and the vibe is just wrong. People are just not going to be in the mood to dance. They're just not going to be in the mood to party. And there's nothing you can do about it. And actually, my top tip for you, if you're ever in a situation like this where you've played 2 hours bangers and there's no movement at all, turn the highs down on your music. Why do I tell you this? Because more likely, what's probably happening is people are just talking and they're enjoying just talking to each other, okay? Now, people's voices, the frequency is around the highs of the music. And we've all been in that situation before where you're speaking to a friend and you're trying to have a good conversation, but there's something kind of irritating about the fact that you're having to scream over the music and you're having to really home in on your friend's lips moving to try and understand what they're saying, and it's kind of irritating. And what you actually don't want to do in those situations is be that irritating DJ who's playing music way too loud on a night where you're not feeling like dancing. Top tip for you. You don't have to turn the volume all the way down. Just cut some of the highs just slightly. What that will do is it'll make it easier for people in the room to speak and converse with each other, because their frequencies of their voice aren't competing with the highs of the song. This is another really cool thing. And what it does is it still gives the impression that the music is booming and thumpy, but they're not having to compete with the frequencies. So it's another cool little tip for you. I've done that many times. It's not the right vibe. Okay, so I'm not going to play such high energy music. Bring it down a little bit. Play kind of thumping music that is a bit more backgroundy, and cut some of the highs, maybe a little bit of the mids. And so people can still speak, but it feels like a party mood. So there we go. There's another really cool tip that I wish somebody had said to me, because there must have been so many times where I was like, no, you will dance. Volume up, boom, boom. And it's just like people just come over and go, oh mate, turn the volume down, will you? And it's like, yeah, okay, I'll turn the volume down. So just be aware of that. You don't want somebody to have to come up and tell you to turn the volume down. Be aware, if they're not in the right vibe, do those things. So, there we go guys. Those are my top tips. Now, once again, I would love to hear back from you guys. Any of you guys who have gone out there, you've learnt your own little tips and things that you wish you'd been taught before you started going out live. I'd love to hear about your experiences. I read all the comments. So leave your comment below. Tell me about something you think I've missed. Tell me about an experience you've had that maybe was embarrassing and you learned something from. I absolutely love hearing from you guys, so make sure you leave a comment below. Also, if you like this video and you like these kind of more chatty videos where I'm just kind of dispensing a bit of advice to you guys, make sure you give the video a thumbs up. And also, if you guys are interested in seeing more videos and content just like this, make sure you hit that button there to subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell notification so you get the notifications when my videos are released. Hit that button down there if you want to go and check out some free DJ training. And finally, hit this button below if you want to find out 3 awesome ways to get your first gig this Christmas. See you guys soon. Boof.